The first trailer for The Batman from director Matt Reeves is filled with action, clues, and murder most foul. So let's put on our cape and cowl and play the role of the world's greatest detective to break down everything we saw. If you thought the sound of duct tape was unnerving before, prepare for it to now forever be associated with killing someone as we see a masked person suffocating someone to death by wrapping their face with it. On the face is written "No more lies" in, is that blood? Yeah, that's blood. This cryptic message seems to imply that the killer wants to expose some sort of truth, and he's committing a series of murders to bring it to light. During the DC Fandom presentation for The Batman, director Matt Reeves said that these murders open up a whole new world of corruption, and it seems clear that this victim has something important to do with it. We see the FBI and the Gotham City Police Department investigating this disturbing murder, and among them is Jim Gordon, not yet a commissioner, played by Jeffrey Wright. On the wall, there are numerous newspaper clippings. They seem to all feature stories about a character named Don running for mayor of Gotham City, or maybe he's already the mayor and this is some stuff he's done, but either way, like before, dripping red letters spell out the word lies. It's clear the duct tape killer wants to bring attention to the lies perpetrated by Gotham's mayor. Suffice to say, the corruption that Reeves spoke about probably runs deep in Gotham's politics. As to who the duct tape killer is, if he was the one who left this green envelope with a riddle for Batman in it, then it most definitely has to be the Riddler, played by Paul Dano. Reeves said Dano would be playing, quote, a version of the Riddler that no one's ever seen before, and him being a creepy duct tape killer certainly is a new one on us. The greeting card left for Batman has a couple things of note. The left side asks, what does a liar do when he's dead? And our best guess is, he lies still. Again, a real emphasis on how the dead mayor is lying about something real big. As for what the code on the right means, we have, no idea. Batman's gonna have to solve that one. And here is the Dark Knight himself, played by Robert Pattinson. We know this is the year 2 version of Batman, so it seems as though he already has a working relationship with Gordon and the GCPD. He's arrived to aid in the investigation, but something tells us he's not going to like what he finds. Reeves said that the investigation into Gotham's corruption will touch on something in Batman's origins, and then Bruce Wayne will be forced to question where his family sits in all of that. This fellow is supposedly Pete Savage, the current commissioner, played by Alex Ferns. We wager he's giving a press conference about the murder of Gotham's mayor, and we double our bet on him being outed for corruption so Jim can take over as Commissioner Gordon by the end of the film. We see Bruce Wayne sporting some black eye makeup and a bandana around his mouth as he watches the press conference from afar on his motorcycle. And then later he's pulling into what appears to be stately Wayne Manor, where there's a lot of tech equipment set up outside, not what we're used to seeing. This scene shows Bruce Wayne attending what we think is a memorial for Gotham's fallen mayor, but the Riddler decides to crash the party literally by sending a car through the wall and into the crowd. And nice save on that kid, Bruce. Why do we think the Riddler is behind the car? It has clues painted all over it. The letters DOA might stand for Dead on Arrival, which could be the Riddler's twisted idea of a joke. The flowers and portrait appear to be there in memory of Gotham's dead mayor, and this guy seems unlucky enough to have crossed paths with the Riddler. It looks like he's a civilian who's had a ringing cell phone taped to his hand, and there's something we can't make out around his neck, but it can't be good, it probably explodes, and taped to his chest is another note for Batman. But the Riddler isn't the only villain in this movie. There are a few more, like Zoe Kravitz Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman. And Catwoman is doing what Catwoman does best, stealing stuff. And we can even see she has those distinct cat ears. Now, Reeves said that Catwoman is not the fully realized character from the comics we know and love. Instead, we'll be watching as she transforms into that DC icon, and the same goes for Riddler and Penguin, played by an unrecognizable Colin Farrell. Reeves refers to Penguin simply as Oz and shared that he's not yet a fully fledged crime kingpin, and in fact doesn't even like being called the Penguin.
It actually, in a weird way, is the origins of a lot of our Rogues Gallery characters.
We jump over to some thugs in clown makeup. Yeah, no one said anything about the Joker being in this film, so we don't think these are his goons. With Penguin being on his journey to become a crime lord, it would make sense that he would have some enforcers, but why this skeletal makeup? If we take a closer look, the guy up front kinda looks like the Joker, and to the left, that guy has kinda got a Two-Face thing going on. Maybe these guys worship Batman's rogue gallery. Or maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Here we have Batman seemingly inside the GCPD headquarters, which makes sense based on what we saw before. But as all Batman fans well know, things tend to be more interesting when he's at odds with the police, and he certainly seems to be getting in a brawl here. Although Gordon steps in and tries to calm him down. And we've got Catwoman and Batman squaring off, which by this point we know is just their way of flirting. Let me guess, he'll come to trust her, only then to curse her sudden and inevitable betrayal. Classic. Here we get a better shot of the duct tape killer. Paul Dano, is that you under there? At the very least, the fact that he's wearing a green coat certainly supports our theory that he is indeed the Riddler.
The hell are you supposed to be?
Then comes the scene where Batman beats up on those clowns, showing us that Pattinson's Batman is just a steaming pot of rage, ready to boil over at any moment.
I'm vengeance.
We see the new Batmobile firing up with a white-hot turbine engine, which Batman pilots to chase down the Penguin. Here, Batman gets shot at point-blank range, and the armor holds. And if we slow down this shot, we can see Batman is using his grapple to zip up a stairwell. You can see officers shooting at him and chasing him up the stairs, so this is probably a continuation of his GCPD brawl where he decides to make a break for it. What, no bats to help you this time?
Excuse me.
Finally, we come to the Dark Knight rising up and the title treatment coming down, leaving us with one last moment. Batman removes his cowl in the Batcave as he listens to a message, probably from the Riddler, where it's teased that he will soon see how he's a part of all this. That seems to tell us that whatever corruption the Riddler exposes has a personal connection to Batman that links back not only to the foundation of Gotham City, but to the Wayne family itself. But as to what it could be, that is a riddle we'll be trying to solve until the Batman hits theaters in 2021. But what do you think is the answer to the big mystery? And what cool stuff did you manage to spot in the trailer? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and for more from DC Fandom, check out our breakdown of all the new footage shown for the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and our first live-action look at Cheetah in Wonder Woman 1984. And don't forget to follow and subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.